Hello everybody! Today I'm going to give you my tips to getting around the Universal Studios tour in Los Angeles. Finally here in LA at Universal Studios, getting ready to see all the good stuff.
Kiss cold round pretty cheeks, caught by a bored smile. It was a gift that left me shamed. Why the fuss in heaven's name? Don't care much really lately, just more of the same.
Before we get into the tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell down below. Most people that watch the channel aren't subscribed, so please do. It really does help me. Get yourself a Now's the Time t-shirt. Join my Patreon. Every little bit helps. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Probably the first tip to get the Universal app gives you estimated times for your wait for the rides or the shows. Really handy, so you can see if there's a wait time of 10 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever it is. Get there early. Get there before the doors even open. That way you get as much time as possible to see the whole thing. It's not huge, but it'll take you all day to get on all the rides and see everything that there is to see. If you're planning to drive to the Universal Studios, closest parking is $50 and the parking on the outskirts is $25 for the day. Your best bet is probably to get a Lyft or an Uber. Which brings me to the next tip, which was given to us by the Uber driver that took us there, which is to go to the downstairs part of the theme park immediately. When the doors open, everyone floods in and they end up going to the first rides they see. The easiest way to make sure that you're not stuck in lines is to go straight through the park, right to the end, down the escalators, all the way to the bottom part of the park. And once you're there, you'll be able to get on the 3 rides that are down below, which are the Mummy, the Jurassic World, and those robot guys. We managed to get down there and get through the 3 of those rides in the first half an hour we were at the park.
Kiss cold round pretty cheeks, caught by a bored smile. It was a gift that left me shamed. Rather fuss in heaven's name. Don't care much really lately, but just more of the same.
So here at the Universal Studios, I'm here because I'm really interested in seeing the back lots where all the old horror films were made. We've done a couple of the rides already. They're actually quite fun. Behind us, we've got the Jurassic World. We managed to get ourselves totally soaked as well. But for me, coming to Universal is to see where all the old horror films, the Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein and Dracula and the Mummy and all the rest. And I don't mean this mummy.
Fuss in heaven's name. Don't care much really lately, just more of the same.
So those are the back lots. Below you can see all the way over to one side. Behind the rides of the park are the actual cinema studios. My next tip would be, after doing the 3 rides in the bottom part of the park, come back up the escalators and go to the Simpsons ride first. We went over to the Harry Potter rides. Had to wait a long time. We went to the Simpsons at the very end of the day, which I think was a mistake because we ended up in line for over an hour.
All by myself, looking for someone else. You think I miss our long cold nights, but I'm gonna be alright.
The Harry Potter ride is fantastic. In fact, all the rides are fantastic. Just about to get into the Harry Potter.
Sandra!
Look at that.
Sandra!
How incredible is that looking? exactly like walking right through the Harry Potter world. It's incredible how from nothing J.K. Rowling wrote a series of books that made her one of the richest and most famous people on earth. Incredible. Made an entire world out of her stories and imagination. Amazing. If you find yourself overheating at the park, there are misters which are just at the top of the escalators, the same escalators that go down to the rides down below. There are huge misters and fans there. Get yourself basically soaked and cool yourself down from the hot sun. Fantastic thing. It really helped me. The shows are fantastic as well. So we went to see the Waterworld show. Make sure if you're in the Waterworld show, be careful where you sit because there are seats that get absolutely soaked. The sun is always shining. Getting soaked is not such a bad thing. But if you don't want to get soaked, or if you have your camera gear with you or anything else, sit back and up and out of the way of those things because you will get hit with water. The show also has, plane crashes and people diving off of things and fire. Really something else.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show contains many water effects, and there is a strong chance that you may get wet. For your convenience, the green benches in the arena have been designated as wet seat sections.
I don't know what we've got ourselves into, but we're sitting in the soak zone.
Sage, get out me!
I'm gonna go back. Get my seat, please. Thanks for joining us at Universal Studios Hollywood.
There's also a show that kind of gives you an idea of how the special effects were done for the movies, and that's also a great show and great fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how come you did not come and see me in person? There.
Do you? Well, Courtney, do you?
No? Too bad, because our next demonstration involves the movie Blood. So does anyone out in the audience know what Alfred Hitchcock used for blood in the film Psycho?
Did that make your day?
That was cool. The food was sort of okay, a little bit on the expensive side. It was tasty enough, but expensive. Get ready to spend some money while you're there. The actual backlot tour where movies are actually filmed does close a bit earlier than the rest of the park. Go in the early to late afternoon, so somewhere between, say, 2 and 4 or something like that. I thought I was going to be able to see a lot of the monster movie stuff, and unfortunately most of that stuff is gone. The original set for the Phantom of the Opera, the Lon Chaney version, Studio 19, it was torn down a few years ago. There are a few bits and bobs still available there for you to see. The Psycho House and the Bates Motel are still there. The old German village from the original Frankenstein, which is still there. The airplane crash from the Spielberg version of War of the Worlds, which is there to see, which is fantastic. The section of town where the lightning bolts are coming out of the ground and shooting up, it's actually right there on the square where they also filmed Back to the Future. All that stuff is right there. The square with the town hall and the clock tower, that's all right there. All of this on the backlot tour. Make sure that you go do that.
Sally from Back to the Future. You just drove over the street from the DeLorean with 88 miles per hour. And if you join us for a VIP tour, you get to walk onto the sets up close and personal, so consider that next time you're here at Universal Studios. After the movie came out, it was so recognizable as the clock tower from Back to the Future that we added a facade to it so it could be used in other productions. But that brick face, it's plastic. Yeah, pretty much all the bricks around us are plastic. And put on the plywood 2x4s, painted to look like brick, you never know the difference. The columns are still there for sure because we want to keep it. That's also the courthouse in To Kill a Mockingbird. Larger city. Welcome to New York, everyone. We got kind of like a fight financial district down on that side with a Macy's type building.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
So this is the second movie from the first trilogy, with Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm, Vince Vaughn and Julianne Moore. Oh, Julianne Moore, what is going to happen? I'll make sure the music is gonna break. I don't know, my knee's been hurt. Oh, there we go. Great. Now, to create a rain care production, you do need to rent out very specialized instrumentation. Sprinklers. Water goes up, back down. You could also use a strobe light for the lightning flashes. You can also see these sets in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the 90s film for Quentin Tarantino, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. The cast and crew used vast portions of this area along with Old Mexico for scenes with the stars. Okay. Is everybody? Hang on. I think it's landing. Get you a killer deal. Perfect! And you're making dinner right now. But just beyond the Psycho House is one of the most impressive sets ever created. We are now at the crash site scene from Steven Spielberg's film The War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. This is a real 747 purchase and destroy just for this 4-minute scene in the film.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set. It's just something you don't see. You're doing good. You're shooting good. Keep doing me.
The other thing not to forget, the Universal City Walk, which is the whole area outside the actual park, is open later than the park itself and it has lots of shops and food and great stuff to do. We did a water massage thing, which was actually kind of fun. There's loads of shops. You could get a Frankenstein t-shirt. The prices vary from about $140 to almost as high as $400 for the personal tour of the back lot. That may be worth it, so you can see people actually walking through the sets of old New York and Back to the Future thing and all that. But we bought the cheapest ticket that was available and had a fantastic time for the entire day. Thanks, guys, for being on the channel. Don't forget, get yourself a Now's the Time t-shirt down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, and we'll see you next time.